Hi everyone, good evening, and I want to welcome you to our webinar series for the year 2026. My name is Mercy, and I just want to appreciate everyone for joining early and joining on time and taking this little time out of your busy schedule to join our webinar series. It means a lot to us at CycloudForte. I just want to please ask that we give some people more time to join. Let's just say we would fully commence once it is 8:06. So let's give them a grace of 2 minutes. See if more people will join then before we now fully commence. Once again, thank you so much for joining, and we don't take it for granted that you took this time out of your own time to join this webinar series. Thank you. Okay, so I would hand over to Elena to commence the webinar for us. Elena, over to you.
Hello everyone, good evening. Can you offer by dropping a message in the chat? If you have taken our time to join us, I appreciate it. So I'm Elena Igoche, a digital marketer for CycloudForte and community manager. I'll be a host for this event this evening. Please, if you can hear me, kindly signal. So it's 2 minutes past our wait time, and I would like to jump straight into it. We having Chisom Elekwa, our speaker, and we have Mercy, our co-host, who has already introduced herself. Mistaken, incredibly skilled, but they're still overlooked. Not because they're not good at what they do, but it's
Okay, so I think the network is really messing up with Elena, and so I think I'll just have to take over from where she stopped. So sorry, please, can you guys signify if you can hear me so it doesn't feel like I'm talking to myself? Okay. All right, so just diving into the course of events. Once again, everyone, thank you for joining us today. We want to welcome you to this webinar session, which we have titled Building a Strong Online Presence for Tech Professionals. So even you can say that, oh, I'm not in the tech field, I don't need to be here. You might want to venture into it later, and definitely this is what you need for your own start in the tech field. So a lot of people in tech are literally incredibly skilled. Most people that venture into tech literally had to undergo a certain level of training, or they've already been trained for that field. But most of them or some of them are like still overlooked, not because they are not good in their skills or whatever it is they are doing, but because they've not been able to put themselves out there and what they can offer properly. And that is exactly what this webinar series is all about today. So please get all the questions you can get, write them down, because Chisom is going to be here to answer every question that is regarding that. So moving on, so let us welcome Chisom, as she gives us a bit rundown of her experience and what she was able to do to put herself out there, and then also answer the questions that you guys have in writing on your mind for her, or whatever question it is that you want to ask her in the course of the series or section. All right, Chisom, thank you so much for joining us today. We are really excited to have this conversation with you, and we know that you have a very, very busy schedule, but we really appreciate that you took out time to join us today. Thank you so much, Chisom. So, I would like you to, tell us a bit about your journey. What was it like? How was it like? Literally everything we need to know.
Okay, so hi everybody. Good evening. Can you confirm if you can hear me, please? Am I audible? Okay, I see Latifa. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so it's so great to be here. I'm super excited to. Thank you, Ayomide. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be the speaker for this amazing topic. So great. My journey has been one of observation, right? And then I picked interest, right? So tech didn't just find me. I'll say I kind of like found it from what I had around me. So I used to have this classmate in university then. During the lockdown, she got into tech, software development to be precise. And after the lockdown, we had resumed school, and she came back. She had done well. She had graduated from the program with which she was learning, and we had come back to school that period. She was already doing an internship, and she was earning well. I think she was earning about 60,000 there, and this is like 2021 ish. And I was intrigued because, being a medical student also, she was combining both being in medical school and, doing tech. And I really love the thing about, doing something different, doing something unique, something that keeps people wow. That's just me, right? So I spoke with her, we talked about it, and I'm like, you know what, I also want to get into tech. Right. And aside the event with my friend, I'd seen it was that whole tech wave period. I had a lot of friends, guys most especially, that had gotten into tech. Some were technical, some were non-technical roles. So it got me really intrigued and I started researching. Right. So fast forward to a few weeks after that whole scenario with my friend and my research, I met a friend. A friend of mine was also in tech, but then the non-technical aspect. She was a digital marketer. So she was meeting a mentor, someone in church who was guiding her through. And I just randomly said, "Oh, I want to get into tech and I don't know what to do." And then she said, "You know what, look up cybersecurity and get back to me in 1 week time." Like, cybersecurity, is there something like that? I've been seeing maybe AI, I've been seeing a whole lot of data analytics and data science, but never did I see cybersecurity. Right? So I did my research. In fact, my research was such a way that I created a document of over like 20 something pages, crazy enough, and just copied and pasted all I saw on the internet and just bombarded it with so much information. And I gave it to her, I said, "Oh, yeah, here's my work. I've done my research." And she's like, "Do you understand?" I'm like, "I don't still get the concept." And that was when work began for me. I started self learning, I started taking courses, Cisco networking art, Simply Learn. Those were like my beginning phases before I applied for a few other short space internships like the Young CISO Network, um, Tech for Dev. It was a 6 weeks program, and that gave me an idea and understanding of what cybersecurity was all about. Then fast forward to when I got into Cyber Girls, amazingly, right? And still combined down with medical school. So I was finally doing that. Okay, it wasn't easy, but it was worth the journey. It's a journey that when I look back at, I'm super grateful that I experienced it. Right, I finished with that and was done with school, graduated, and with the skill I'd already learned in the past few years, I was able to land two roles at the same time. So there was a time I was working two jobs at once, where I was teaching cybersecurity in an academy, and I was also working as a junior cloud DevOps engineer. So it's really my journey is one that I would also put solely on, not solely, but a huge part of my journey I would say is because of my online presence. Right, my mentor that I got to meet was called, I was visible online. He could see me, he could see I was doing something. And so he has been a huge part of my journey. Shout out to him. Okay, so visibility, it was a huge factor in, me landing roles, people finding me credible, right? And building confidence in me. Right. So that's just like a quick wrap of how my journey has been the past few years.
All right,
Hi
thank you
Nestle, are
so
you still there?
much. Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry, I had a little bit of network issue. Thank you so much, Chisom. So literally,
Okay.
you don't have to be in tech for you to, have the same experience that she had. So I think one issue that most people have is not just the interest thing. Like, people already know what they want to do. People already know that, okay, this is where I want to go. This is how I want to do it. This is what I want to do. It might not be in tech. It might be in business, finance, or anything. But like, how do you think they can position themselves for opportunities that can, take them into whatever interest or venture they want to go into? Like, what are the ways that you can suggest that they do to ensure that they put themselves or position themselves in the right form and place for people to see them and know that, okay, and then also for them to be able to see opportunities in line with what they have interest in?
Okay. So how you can position yourself as a tech professional in a way that you can attract opportunities. One is by being visible. I know that's a very encompassing word. So I'll break it down. Okay, so first of all, choose the platform. What platform do you think resonates with you a whole lot? What platform do you think you're comfortable being on? So I'll have a little bias to LinkedIn, as LinkedIn is, my kind of platform and the platform that actually gave me as much visibility as I needed. So choose a platform first, know what you want for yourself, right? Personal branding is about, deciding what do I want people to know me for. When people can see you, when people see you repeatedly showing up, then they can trust you. Okay, so what is the brand, what is the name that you want people out there to know you for? And when you're done, start putting out posts, whether you're still learning, whether you're an expert or a professional. Make posts that resonate with your line of interest and put yourself out there. Show up repeatedly, show up consistently also, right? That's one of the issues that a lot of tech people have is they show up today and then they're not showing up till the next 3 weeks, 1 month, right? Show up repeatedly, show up consistently, and most importantly, give value, right? There's the difference between showing up and difference between giving actual value. Right. So are you showing up like every random person, or are you distinguishing yourself away from the crowd? What about you stands out that I'll be scrolling through LinkedIn or I'll be scrolling through Twitter and I want to read what you have. I want to hear what you have, right? So showing up properly is a very big determinant on how you move and how your brand is being spoken of, right? Because there's something I made on my LinkedIn, a post I made on my LinkedIn a few days back, says visibility is the insurance policy for your career. And I heard that from one of my leader, Confidence TV. So visibility is that thing that speaks for your personal branding, is what speaks for you, even when you're not physically there in rooms, right, where you can speak for yourself. But then when someone has seen you repeatedly, it just strikes a chord in their mind. Or when they think about project management, oh, I remember there's this girl on Twitter that is always posting consistently. When they think about data analytics, oh, I remember this guy has been making posts and making videos and even showing us things that he's doing. I don't know him, but I think I'll recommend him for this. Because one thing I heard very early in my tech career is recommendation. As much as yes, your skill gets you in the door, or gives you credibility, recommendation is very huge in tech, right? Some of the roles that some of the opportunities I've gotten, and I have friends also, is through recommendation. I have a friend currently working a remote role and she's being paid very well. But she didn't come in because she applied and dropped her CV. She came in because she had someone who was already there and could recommend her because of her skills. So you might be the perfect, the most skilled back-end engineer, the best quality assurance analyst or engineer, the best front end, the best ethical hacker, right? But you're the best ethical hacker in your room. Nobody sees what you do and do well if you don't show them, right? Your friends don't know what you do because you're hiding your journey, you're hiding your beginning stage so that you can now boom out. People like to follow you through your journey to success. Okay, people like to say, oh, I know where this person started and I can see where they are now, right? So put yourself out there, make posts, right? Make posts about what you do, talk about what you do consistently, and reach out to people, right? Reach out to people in a very professional manner. Okay. Tell people what you do, network with people based on, there's a hierarchical way of networking where you network with people above you, in your level, and below you. So this positions you not just as, so for someone above you rather, it positions you as someone who knows what they are doing. For people below you, they see you as someone who is an authority to them. Why? Because you're always putting yourself out there.
And all right, thank you so much, Chisum. So basically, we created this webinar for you guys to ask questions, which we are now going to go into. So the purpose of this webinar is not just for her to come and point to you guys. It is also for her to answer your questions regarding personal branding, not just in tech, in any other field. So please, any questions, just put them in the chat box and Elena will take it up from there. If you have questions regarding personal branding, what you think it is, if you had an idea of what it is, if a misconception in any way you want her to correct, please put it in the chat box so that Elena can read it out and then Chisom will do justice to it. Thank you. So if you feel like it's a question you can't type, you can unmute yourself and ask directly to Chisom so that no one is feeling restricted, or because I want it to be interactive and also give people a chance to speak. That's the point of this. In as much as we created this for you guys, we also want it to be about you guys too as well. So if you have questions, please you can unmute your mic, raise up your hand, and then Chisom would answer your question regarding that. So I think we don't have questions for now. I don't want to believe that nobody has any question. Me, I have a question, Chisom. So I'm going to start it myself. I believe that in as much as people try to, put themselves out, there's always like, I don't want to use overdo part of it. So what do you like? I always want to ask that what is one common mistake that you feel like people do when trying to put themselves out there, in terms of personal brand and also trying to ensure that they get the right audience?
Okay, so if I get you clear, you're asking for what common mistake people do when they try to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like how you said sometimes people like to overdo. But then, funny enough, is some people are overdoing, and their overdoing is in a very, let's say, distorted manner. Why? Because first of all, the first thing that people see when they come to you, like the first thing, in fact, let's say I come to visit you, for example, Mercy, and I knock on your gate, you open the gate for me. What's the first thing you think I'll see? I'll see your compound. I'll see how your compound is before I even get into your room or your house or your parlor, whichever one. So the first thing that people see when they come to your personal brand can be on any social media of your choice, is your profile, is your headline. Right, so I'm seeing you, Mercy. I can see that you have a face. Okay, you have a profile picture, you have a full name, maybe Osato Mercy, for me, Chisom Elekwa. But what again happens after that? Right. So personal branding, your personal brand, your the platform you're using is not just a landing page, it's not just like a CV for you. It's where you actually show people what you are, who you are, and what you do. So a lot of people have their profiles so unoptimized that even when you come into there, you have to probably have a personal conversation with them to know who they are and to know what they do. So your profile, your headline should be able to answer the who you are question, right? So this goes into saying, it gives you background information about yourself, talks about your experiences, talks about your achievements, talks about your projects, your values, your interests. I should be able to look through your online profile and feel like I know you to an extent. Now, when I say I know you to an extent, I'm not talking about personally, like where you grew up and who your siblings are. No, apart from that, in a professional way, because we are tech professionals. We are not just content creators that are trying to just gain all visibility or any kind of visibility that we want. So how you position yourself matters a whole lot. And your profile should also be able to answer the what you do question. Right. So this focuses on either what you're currently doing. Maybe you have a job role, beautiful. Or if you don't have a job role, what do you plan to do? Where do you see yourself, right? So your profile should be answering that question. So, say for example, we don't have a lot of time to critique, to analyze anyone's LinkedIn. But say for example, let me see and look for a name here. Ebuka, for example. Say Ebuka is a UI UX designer, right? And I want to know about what he has done and who he is. I should open Ebuka's LinkedIn profile, probably Twitter, and see UI UX designer helping companies create what easy to use and visual appealing websites. Even if I don't know what a UI designer or UI UX designer is, once I see website, I know, okay, these are the people that do XYZ, and I have him in mind. Or say you're a cloud engineer like myself, a cloud security engineer like myself. I should come to your profile. Let's say who likes Providence. I should open Providence's profile and see cloud security engineer, right? Helping companies design and manage scalable cloud-based infrastructure. You can also add secure cloud-based infrastructure. Now, what this also does for you, especially on a site or on a platform like LinkedIn, is LinkedIn is very big, or LinkedIn publicizes profile very much when depending on the keywords used in the search bar. So if you're in something like UI UX design, like we spoke about, you should be using keywords that are unique to your field in your profile. So I might type UI UX designer and something pops up and probably pop up. But what if I type websites? What if I type designs? Or let's say you are a project manager. What else? A data analyst, for example. If I type SQL, can your profile will your profile pop up? It should. Why? Because this keyword actually distinguishes you and what gives you more visibility than you need. So that's like one thing that a lot of people make mistake in while building a personal brand, is that your profiles are not optimized, right? If another one that I'll speak about is also inconsistent presence. Okay, you are not showing up. I think I said it earlier, so I'll just reiterate on that a little bit more. You're not showing up as much as you should. Now think of it like Indomie. Okay, Indomie, the brand. See, I'm supposed to say noodles. I'm saying Indomie because of how much we've seen them on our screen. I don't know if anybody remembers when we used to watch that TV ad where they say, "Mama do good, oh, she do good. She give us Indomie, Indomie." So if you want to go and buy noodles, it's almost very spontaneous for you to say, "Madam, please give me one Indomie." Do you understand? Because it has not stuck in your mind that you forget, oh, there's mini mini noodles, oh, there's golden penny noodles too. Oh. You just think about Indomie, right? Because they have shown up so much in your screen that has embedded in your subconscious. That is the same way you should show up. That's the same way you should show up as a tech professional. Show up so much that when people think about your field, you're the first person that comes to mind. If you're not showing up that much, then you're doing something wrong, right? So I will not say you're overdoing, right? At least you're overdoing in a proper manner, right? And another key thing is what? You are discouraged because people are not engaging. See, there are times when I have sent out posts and I've gotten thousands of impressions. Like I said, LinkedIn is my bias, right? And I've gotten thousands of impressions. And there are also times I've sent out posts, I've posted stuff, and I've gotten like hundreds of impressions. And sometimes few, and sometimes it takes time, right? But will I stop because some 10, 20, 50 people did not like my post? No. Why? Because I have a goal in mind. I have a why I am putting myself out there. I have a reason I am showing people every day. Oh, say my name was Chisomelekwa. This is what I do. I have a goal in mind. So your goal might be, I want more following. I want to be a TikTok influencer on tech, a tech influencer on TikTok, or a tech influencer on LinkedIn. So that means one post that is getting less engagement should not really bother you. Why? Because there's a goal in mind. Right? And then some of you will now finally even maybe be getting this engagement, but you're not engaging back. Now, there's something you should know about social media platforms and online platforms. They work based on algorithm. I can't hammer this enough. They work based on algorithm. So if you are not replying to people's comments, I feel like, I don't know, but I've kind of had this conversation with somebody. And as funny as it sounds and ridiculous as it sounds, a lot of people have this kind of mindset. You know, this thing where you get so much likes and so much comments, and you open your LinkedIn or your Twitter, and you're seeing notification 99 plus, and about a post you made, you just begin to feel big, like, I finally reached, I finally landed, and you're not responding to comments. You have stacks of DM waiting for you, looking at you. you're literally affecting the algorithm. You're putting the algorithm against you. Because social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever platform, even YouTube, right? It's a two-way handshake. I shake your hand, you shake my hand back. Right. So as people are commenting and you're commenting, you're telling the algorithm, oh, something is happening here. Oh, something is happening on this particular post. Oh, push it out for more people to see. So if you make a post and you just disappear and you want to come back to 100 notifications, that's amazing. But respond to the people in your DMs, respond to the people in your comments, right? Accept those connection requests. And also, very important. Let me look at the heading of this call again. It is building a strong online presence for tech professionals. Please, and please, you see a post that interests you, you want to comment. Why are you rooting for you? Well done. Nice write up. Nice post. How are you showing yourself as an expert? How are you showing yourself as knowledgeable? Okay, so say for example, you see a post that you like, say, let me use something in cloud, then I'll use something in product management, and just to know that I'm touching all fields in tech. So say I see a post, for example, on zero trust architecture, okay, and I love what the person wrote. First, you can appreciate the post by saying, oh, great point there. I love what you wrote, and I can say, oh, I've worked on a similar project where I had to what I've worked on a similar project where over permissive IAM roles cost exposure. Therefore, I had to leverage the principle of least privilege to limit access and improve security posture. Now, you might seem like you're overdoing, right? Like you're overwriting. We all know that you know what you're doing. But LinkedIn is a place where, or social media also is a place where you can stumble on the best of the best. You can stumble on industry leaders. You can stumble on the best recruiters. You can stumble on decision makers, right? And LinkedIn doesn't necessarily tell you people that viewed your post. So you don't know who's going to be looking, right? And maybe that your post, that comment you made will just draw traction and then you're seen. Because what we're chasing right now is what? Visibility. You need to be known for people to see you, to reckon with you or to relate with you. Okay, or say you're in product management, for example, as someone talks about something about user feedback, user interaction, and it's something you've worked on, you have an idea about, whether you've worked on it on an actual job or you've worked on it on a side project. You can say something about it. Oh, great post you have over there, right? I worked on a previous project last time where we had to where users love the product that we use, but they had a little bit there were a bit of discrepancies and what, and so we had to change some features for user satisfaction. Then just writing, oh, nice post, rooting for you, go girl. Show yourself as knowledgeable. You might just be starting your tech journey like a year ago, 6 months ago, but positioning matters very much to you as a tech professional. I could go on and on with so many other, mistakes that tech professionals have. Let me see if there are any questions. Okay, not yet. So let me just add one more very important point. Is secondly, you need to post with value. You need to post with value. And a lot of people okay, Elena has her hands up, I think. Okay, hi Elena. Okay, in the absence of that.
My network is on very, very bad. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I do have a question.
Okay.
Shall I go ahead? How do you create content without compromising security and credibility?
Okay. So your question, if I hear you clear, you say, how do you create content without compromising security and credibility, right? I hope I heard that correctly. Am I audible, please? Am I audible?
Yeah, that was what she said.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's a very, very good question, right? Because we think it's an obvious thing that people should know, but a lot of people do not know this, that there's a difference between sharing value and also, exposing sensitive information. So she said security and she said credibility, right? So I'll tackle both of them separately. So first is, do not share things that are sensitive or identifiable, especially when you're speaking on a very public platform. It's different when maybe you're speaking in your small team or your company and all. But when you're speaking in a public platform like Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the rest of them, right? We don't expect you to be sharing credentials just because you want to make a point that you've worked with and so amount of data. We don't expect you to be sharing tokens of of clients or even companies dashboard, right? Or some people even go ahead sometimes to share the actual client's name. So what you can do in this scenario is you can simulate. There's something called simulation where you're not using the actual thing, you're creating a scenario to suit a particular narrative. So you can say, oh, I've done XYZ without having to tell me this is the company I did it for. So say, for example, right, in bulk bounty, I know there are some companies that restrict you from saying, their company names that you found a bug on them. So you don't necessarily say, oh, I worked with this company, I worked with that client, and I found XYZ. Rather, you can paint the scenario or paint that scenario, yes, into something else that can suit a narrative for you to post. And also, blur sensitive items. So if you have to show something, right, you have to post a picture or you have to post a video, be very intentional to scrutinize what you're posting and blur sensitive parts of that video or document or image you're trying to show. Next is okay, I've already said the second one is to speak in patterns and not specific. So you don't say, oh, I worked with so client, or I worked with Mark Zuckerberg, or I worked with Amazon, or I worked for Dangote Refinery, I worked for UBA. Just be very coded. It also shows what professionality and expertise, right? So I've talked about the security aspect of it. Now the credibility aspect, to show yourself, to stand out among the crowd and let people put trust in you, because that's what a personal brand does for you. It builds trust and confidence in what you have to offer. So one, don't fake expertise. I know a lot of us here, some of us here rather, might be beginners. You're probably just starting out and you're intimidated by how everybody on LinkedIn has this very huge technical jargon to talk about, and you're like, which one will talk? Which one will I say? What will I say to look like, me? So I also have my tech together and I'm doing amazing things. It's good that you're still a beginner. It's fine that you're still using labs, right? So if you have to also speak according. And I feel intimidated sometimes. It happens to the best of us, really. It happens to the best of us. But just come out transparent. People love people that they can relate with. People love people that are transparent, right? If you have to talk about a project or a work or a concept, then it doesn't hurt to say, oh, I'm just exploring so and so concept, and this is what I've seen so far. And just articulate your speech well, write whatever you have to write properly. If you're doing a video, speak with eloquence, right? Speak with boldness, but still say, oh, I'm still a beginner in this and I'm just learning this, but this is what I've learned so far. That's credible, right? That's really credible. I don't come and use big grammar and big words that even you, if they ask you in the next 2 months, cannot remember what the meaning is. Be simple. As much as we are saying be professional, be simple. Like, let people read and know, oh, this person actually knows what she's talking about. And also be consistent with your message. Like I said, if you're a beginner, shows you're a beginner. If you're taking us through a project, shows that this is a project, a personal project that you worked with. It's not like you actually work with a company, right? Just be very transparent. Like, transparency builds credibility. Like when you go on TikTok and you're watching some people's videos, you like how you can relate to the things they're saying. As a beginner yourself, you can resonate with this person, or if you're an expert, you can resonate with his expertise. Just transparency, really, and you can build credibility. So I hope I answered that question well.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so if there is any other person who has a question for Chisom, please, you can unmute your mic and speak so that this webinar can be interactive. Okay, we have a question in the chat
Yes, we have a
box from
question.
Latifa.
Okay,
And
let me.
yeah, should I
Okay,
read it or do you want to read it?
Okay, can I read?
Yes, you can. Sure.
Okay, thank you. So Latifa is saying, as a data scientist, is it enough to just post your portfolio publicly on GitHub without necessarily posting a walkthrough video on LinkedIn? If yes, I recently read a post about LinkedIn algorithm not showing your post enough to others because a link is like a flag that makes people leave or anchor them out of the app. Okay, so I think this question, I'm going to break it down into different categories. So first is it enough to post your portfolio publicly on GitHub without posting a walkthrough on LinkedIn? Now, you don't necessarily have to post a walkthrough video on LinkedIn. So say you did a project as a data scientist and you have your portfolio on GitHub, right? I know LinkedIn gives you this part in your profile where you can attach your GitHub, your link, maybe like a website link or a portfolio link. There's that feature on LinkedIn. So you can put your GitHub link and talk about the project you've worked on. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a video. It can be series of pictures or screenshots from that project, and you can just talk about it. And also, a lot of people have, I'll say this loosely, emphasis on loosely, short attention span, right? So not everybody wants to begin to read in details every single thing they did and all of those things, even though that is actually very good. But that's how lengthy your post would be, because when you're talking about a walkthrough, it's almost very detailed, right? So, but you can put screenshots and just talk about what you've done on that particular project and reference people to, like you said earlier, the link algorithm doesn't show your link, right? Because it gets them to leave the app. And you can reference people to, oh, I have my portfolio on my this, and you can check that out. But another thing I know that affects the LinkedIn algorithm when it comes to links, right, is when you put a link, right, and the preview of that link is showing. Say, for example, you post the whole your GitHub portfolio, and you know that little image that pops up, and then I can still see GitHub, this. I know, yes, it really affects the algorithm from showing people your post because of that whole preview. Okay. So yes, that you can do that without, but I've not really heard of when you post a link, people don't, it restricts you, because if you look at all these people that make posts about jobs or about, an opportunity, they have so much traction to their posts, right? They have a lot of people clicking and trying to like sign up for that job and all, right? So I don't really know about the link and reducing your visibility, but I know about when you post a link and the preview is still showing, then you're supposed to take it out, okay, so that your post can gain more traction. But you can either do that or have a portfolio link on your profile and refer people there after they're done reading your posts. Yes, I hope I answered that. Okay, so I see another question in the chat. Jamil says, any advice on guideline on creating a professional portfolio? Okay. Any advice or guideline? I feel like it's very dependent. Okay. It's very dependent on your field. I've seen portfolios of people that are in non-technical fields, and I've seen portfolios of people that are in technical fields, and I've seen there's a discrepancy between it, right? It's not the same. It just cannot be the same. Okay. So I feel like it depends on your field. So for Jamie, our advice, do more research, right? I don't know what field you're in, but do more research and check out how portfolios are being created for people in your field. Look at professionals. A lot of people post their portfolios online, right, on their profiles and on Twitter and everywhere. Everybody's trying to search for a job, so you can open people's portfolio, look at how they've structured theirs rather, and be able to put yours together. So I can't say, okay, this is the checklist you must have. But obviously, you should have your name clearly visible. If you have to put your picture, a very professional image, you have to talk about your project, talk about it in bullet points also, talk about what you've done in very clear terms, put images if you need to, okay, or put links that reference people to maybe your Medium post, maybe a post you wrote on Medium or what have you, but structure it in a very, eye-catchy manner, something that keeps people that's looking at it. But like I said earlier, it differs between, it differs between fields in tech. So I can't give you like a checklist like this is how it must be. Okay. So just do a little bit of research and you can put something together for yourself. Okay, so I see a hand up. Hi, Ayo.
Hi,
Okay, I see Jamie's love.
um,
Okay, there's a hand up and there's a question.
hi Susan, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for gracing the webinar. So I wanted to buttress to what Latifa said, what the question she was asking about LinkedIn hiding your post. Actually, it's sort of true, but I just want to say that everything you said is correct. I just wanted to give out one more tip, and that's it. That is to um post whatever link she wants to add to post. She should put it in the comment. So that way LinkedIn doesn't hide that post. So the comments will be like, oh, just a normal reply to what she has posted. So she can just literally hide her links there.
Exactly. Thank you, Ayo, for that. I missed that out. Exactly. A lot of people do that also. A lot of people do that. I remember when I made a post about a walkthrough video it's some a lab I did on Cisco networking, Cisco packet tracer, sorry, Cisco packet tracer. I remember putting the drive link in the comments, and that post also like had so much traction. Okay, so that is a very good point. Thank you, Ayo, for that. So Latifa, please take note of that also. Yeah. Okay, so I see another question in the chat. Elena says, can you share a specific opportunity? This one makes me happy. A specific opportunity that came directly from your online presence. Oh my goodness. I've had opportunities. I should put it in an IES. I've had opportunities come around, but one that really came so instantaneous, and I was blown, right? To the very moment I was done, like I was done with that. I was still in shock at at how it came. Was I reached out to there's this guideline I use from my leader, Confidence Daily. Right. So we had one masterclass with her a few years back, and she told us about how to reach out to professionals. Right. So I leveraged that method. I leveraged it for a lot of professionals, industry leaders in my field. And the unique thing about using this method is it makes you have a rapport with them, right? Because normally you would have just sent a connection invite, bam, 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 on LinkedIn, and they'll just go through. Sometimes they might feel lazy to respond to you. When you send your connection invite with a message, and not just any message, a well-structured message, there's something it does, right? I've had industry leaders tell me, oh, you can always reach out to me if you have any issue, and like, I would find ways to help you sort it out, like because of how I approach them. So, that random afternoon, I had also, reached out to this amazing lady in Australia. I had sent her, like I did others. I think she was also in class. She was doing something amazing really that really actually caught my attention. So I sent her my connection invite and just moved on what I was doing on LinkedIn. And she responded. We had a little bit of chit chat. And then she said, oh, would you be available? I host or I own the Women in Security magazine. And, I would love to feature you. When I saw it first, I had to go and the cybersecurity in me, because it was so instantaneous. Cybersecurity in me said, go and look well. I had to go and do my research. I came back, I'm like, this is how fast these things used to come. And then she's like, I would like to feature you on my page. I looked at my own profile. I don't think I even had up to like 3,000 followers on LinkedIn then. So I'm like, I was actually taken aback. So I told her, okay, yes, I'm open. Those kind of things, you don't waste time. You grab the opportunity immediately. So I told her I was open to, get featured. She took my email almost immediately, sent me the questions. I went through them, gave me like a time frame to answer. I went through them. And, when I was done, I sent it to her. We had a little bit of, adjustments and everything. And boom, boom, I had a page. I had my feature on an international cybersecurity magazine. Why? Because of my approach, right? So, and there's a huge likelihood that this lady must have said, "Oh, let me even see who she is," right? This confident girl that's coming to my DM with this well-structured write-up. Let me see what she does. Let me see who she is. And she opens my LinkedIn and she scrolls through and she's seeing what tangible posts that are worthwhile. Right, but imagine she checks my LinkedIn and she sees maybe a few connections here, a sprinkle of followers, and all the notification that there's some people that when you open their LinkedIn, what you're seeing is all the comments you've made and all the likes you've made because you're not posting anything. And sometimes your comment is like 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 5 months ago. So there's a huge likelihood that she checked and she's like, okay, impressive. I'd like to have you on. And this is like one of many, right? One of many opportunities that visibility has actually afforded me. So I employ everyone here today. Put yourself out there. Let people see you for what you do. Let people see who you are. Because a lot of people there that are making waves, you're way better than them. And this is not saying anything to downplay anybody. The only thing that they are doing that you're not doing is that they're showing people, even with the little knowledge they have, they're putting themselves out there. So please do say after today's call.
Thank you very
So
much.
I hope I've answered Elena's question. Yeah.
Yes, you have. Mercy, are you still with us?
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to round up now with a closing question. What's the one mindset shift attendees must live with? Did you get what I said?
Okay, sorry, I can't hear you, Alina. Or is it just me?
Can you hear me now?
So I think we don't have any other questions. We will come to, or I think Elena asked a question. Chisom, please, can you signify if you can hear me? Elena, please, can you signify? Can anybody signify if they can hear me? So it doesn't feel like I'm just talking to myself. Okay, so all right. Thank you guys so much for your time. We have successfully come to an end of today's webinar session. We really appreciate your time and effort for joining and taking out of your busy schedule to join this webinar session. We don't take it for granted. And we are saying a very big thank you for your time. And on that note, we will call it a night. We would also drop Elena, please also drop. Okay, so over to you, Elena.
Okay. So I would like to add this as a closing remark. Know that your skills are quite important, but your visibility is actually what will create more opportunities for you. The more you post on your platforms, the better visibility that you have, and the more opportunities you create for yourself in the process. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Mercy, for hosting tonight's event in my place, given the network interference. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Thank you, Jamil, Kazim, Latifa, Olukayode. Thank you, Providence. Thank you, Prudence. Thank you, Rema. Thank you, every person for joining us. I really appreciate you all for joining. Your effort doesn't go unnoticed. And with this, I bid you farewell and a good night. Thank you, Ayo, for joining us.